this question, which I think is this answer, which I think is the most important to understand, is that Noah had to take two of each kind, not two of each species, okay? And that word kind is repeated over and over and over again here, as well as in the Genesis account of creation, we see that word. Now, what is a kind? Just like we said, what is a cubit? Well, when you think about our modern taxonomy and the way that we classify things, kind is we usually would say that's about the same as family. So hopefully you all remember this from biology class, right? Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species is how we classify organisms. So we would say that kind falls at that family level, not genus and not species, okay? Not down here, not 8 million, but up here, which is significantly less at the family level. So just to give you an example of that, all dogs belong to the family Canidae. It doesn't matter whether you're talking foxes or wolves or coyotes or a chihuahua, they all belong to Canidae. Same with cats, okay? Whether you're talking a lion, a panther, a tiger, or a kitty cat, like you might have at home, those are all from the family Felidae. And the reason we say it's at the family level is because most members of a family, of the same family, can breed with one another and produce offspring. Okay, it's sort of a reproductive unit. The other thing is members of the same family all kind of look alike. Okay, just like maybe your family, with your biological children and your grandparents and great-grandparents, there's similarities there, right? So you can kind of see that, oh yeah, those all belong to the same family. So there's a strong just presence of looking at them and saying that, as well as the fact that they can reproduce with one another. And we have some really good examples actually of this as what forms that family or that kind over at our petting zoo. So you need to go over there today and you need to see our Zorse and our Zonkey, okay? Now, when you look at them, you're like, wait a minute, what is that? Kind of looks like a combination, which is basically what it is. These are what we call hybrids, right? So the brown one is a Zorse, and his parents, the parents there are a zebra and a horse. And then the Zonkey, of course, is a zebra and a donkey. Now, how is that possible? Because zebras, horses, and donkeys all belong to the family Equidae, okay? And they can mate with one another and produce offspring. Most of us are probably familiar with mules, okay, which is a donkey and a horse, okay? Same idea. And they all kind of look alike, okay? Even if you didn't know exactly what these were, you know there's some kind of horse, right? Something in that family, basically. So Noah, right now today, we have about close to 400 breeds of domestic dogs. But Noah did not have to take 400 pairs of dogs on the ark, okay? That's just ridiculous. Most of those breeds didn't even exist when Noah was taking animals on the ark. Okay, those have just come about in about the last 500 years. Most of these breeds have only been around for a short period of time. Again, they're just variations within the dog family. So Noah only took 2 dogs on the ark, and from those 2 dogs, after they came off the ark, they multiplied and reproduced till eventually we got lots of dogs. Okay, today. And they come in many different shapes and sizes, but they're all dogs, right? We've got jackals and foxes and the bush dog and the wolf and the coyote and your favorite domestic dog breed. Now, some people say, whoa, wait a minute. You're saying there was just 2 dogs and we get all the dogs we have today. I say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they say, but that's a lot of change in a very short period of time. That's just a few thousand years ago. I say, well, true. But let's think about this for a minute, okay? There's only about 35 dog species in the world, okay? You realize all these dogs that I'm showing you up here and the wolf all belong to the same species. They're all Canis lupus, okay? They're just different breeds of dogs. And there's a lot of variety among the breeds, right? I mean, you've got Great Danes. Well, I'm not that tall, but you've got Great Danes and you've got Chihuahuas, right? I mean, they look pretty different, don't they? Now, how is that possible? They descended from the wolf, okay, through people selecting for certain traits, okay, and they keep breeding them back and breeding them back and breeding them back and getting dogs that eventually just keep producing dogs that look like Chihuahuas or bulldogs or whatever it may be. That's through people selecting and making those choices. People have been able to do that in 500 years. We've gotten about 400 breeds of dogs. Whoa. Okay, so what can happen in a few thousand years? Certainly you can get 35 species in a few thousand. I mean, that's a lot more time. And that's through nature and other mechanisms at work, not people selecting, but natural mechanisms that cause that to happen. So it's very, very reasonable. If we can produce a few hundred breeds, certainly nature can produce a few, dozen breeds or species in a few thousand years. So it's really not all that unbelievable. God has created these animals with an amazing amount of genetic diversity. And you should feel sorry for the bulldog there too. I might mention, just read a paper recently, that breed is probably going to die out in our lifetimes. It won't be around anymore. We have bred it to the point that the poor dog cannot breathe anymore. It's too much. It's gotten too short of a snout and it can't even breathe. So anyways, that's just what happens. Those breeds become so purebred that it can be bad for them. Now, back when we knew we were going to build Ark Encounter, when we first knew this was going to become a reality, myself as well as several other scientists had to get together and do a lot of research and figure out what is a reasonable estimate of number of animals for the Ark. And knowing that he took 2 of every kind and 7 pairs of some, okay, so we had to look at what then of all of the animals that are alive today and all of the animals we only know from the fossil record, okay, and take all of those and put them into their kinds, their original kinds. Whew, that's a big job. All right, and so many scientists were involved, and they published their papers in what's called Answers Research Journal, which is an online journal through the Answers in Genesis website. Anyone can go there and look at those articles, but I'm going to give you a summary of those. They are pretty fascinating to read. But as far as mammals go, there's about close to 550 kinds, birds, almost 300 kinds, reptiles, a little over 300 kinds, and then amphibians, about 250 kinds, which gives us a grand total of almost 1,400 kinds or 7,000 animals. Okay, so that's all that was needed on the Ark. Again, if you're taking at the family level or the kind level, there's really not as many. Now, whatever you do, don't take those kind numbers and multiply by 2. Because remember, Noah had to take 7 pairs of some, the clean animals and the winged creatures. So that's why you end up with a lot of birds on the Ark. Now, what animal, though, do you think I get asked most about when it comes to the Ark? Unicorns. I like that one. Yep, that's one too. That was probably a rhinoceros though. But dinosaurs, okay, by far are the thing that people want to know about the most. Were dinosaurs on the Ark? And I say, of course they were, okay, because what does the Bible say? Of every living thing of all flesh, animals after their kind will come to you to keep them alive. Well, that includes the dinosaurs. We know about them from the fossil record. They were real animals, living animals at some point. Now, there's lots of other animals that are also in the fossil record, okay? We get so excited about dinosaurs, we tend to forget that there was a lot of mammalian species that we know, or kinds that we no longer have around today. We try to show some of those at the Ark so people understand it's not just dinosaurs in the fossil record. It's lots of other animals that no longer exist.